All right, thank you for tuning in to this video. Of course, we're going to be going over the Gospel according to Thomas, and saying 18 is what we'll be discussing. Keep watching. All right, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. What I go over in the content is esoteric and exoteric research in retrospect to how it influences you, and how by being on a more pious lifestyle, how that can help you in your soul journey on obtaining the light in a better way for you, okay? So as I said in the introduction, we're going to be going over the Gospel according to Thomas, saying 18. This is going to be an advanced interpretation. Here we go. It says, the disciples said to Jeshua, tell us what our end will be. Jeshua says, have you then deciphered the beginning that you ask about the end? For where the beginning is, there shall be the end. Blessed is the man who reaches the beginning. He will know the end and will not taste death. Okay, and will not taste death. If you haven't actually read the Gospel according to Thomas, these were particular texts, of course, that were found in Hammadi, Egypt. They were found and everything like that, and supposedly discovered and everything. And inside of those particular scrolls and things that were discovered, obviously, was a text called the Gospel according to Thomas. Now, these were supposed to be like just straight sayings of this particular Ma'anda'an, and without any contaminations and so forth. Obviously, they waited until they published them so they can go in and change names, people, and nouns and stuff like that. But we're just going to go over the interpretation here for you, okay? So notice what we have highlighted here, or bolded. So we have so first you have to decipher the beginning. And then it says, for where the beginning is, there shall be the end. The end of what? And then it says, who reaches the beginning will not taste death. So you have to decipher the beginning. You have to understand what that actually means. And then you have to know that wherever the beginning is, there will the end be. And then you have to reach it. And then he will know the end and will not taste death. So in this particular video, we're going to explain this in the sense of using microbiology, and we're going to also use quantum physics, okay, to explain this video. All right, so let's start with microbiology. All right, so what we're explaining here, and let's go ahead and get the keys of Enoch to help out with this interpretation. This is page 487. So it says, Giza was the region of the Council of Nine, represented by 9 pyramids keyed into the Pyramid of Cheops. It says, which contains the codes for the foundation stone, the Eben Shabbatiyah. It says the Pyramid of Cheops, which is a what? Tetrahedron within an octahedron, is a perfect model for the carbon atom. Okay, carbon atom. It says the model for the material grid of what? All living organisms on this planet. Okay, so basically you have the evolution of a spark or a cell. Okay, a cell or a spark, however way you want to go there. So then as you're on this path, of course, what you're supposed to be doing is you're supposed to be going toward becoming a carbon atom. Don't get caught up into the physical aspect of stuff, like what you look like on the external. Remember, it says that you have to give birth to that which is within you, right? So then you have to look at this like, what is the path of a cell, or what is the path of a spark, in the sense of what you're supposed to be doing. And according to saying 18, you're supposed to be going back to the beginning. So in earlier videos, of course, how I was explaining the interpretation of Revelation chapter, I think it was like 17 or something, where I was talking about this lower birth situation. So when you come in through a womb, through a placenta, I'm looking at that as being lower birth, okay? I'm looking at that as being lower birth. And in saying 18, it's saying that you're supposed to what? You're supposed to reach the beginning. That means you have to stop and you have to turn around, right? And you have to get on this path of getting back to something, right? So first you need to decipher what the beginning is, and that's what we're going to go over in this particular video, so you'll be able to know what the beginning is. And then I'm going to give you some hints on how to reach the beginning, and then tell you what it means to not taste death. Actually, I've already told you that, so you're not actually going back into forgetfulness and starting your path all completely over again as a win-win. All right, so this is Gospel According to Thomas. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's deal with it from the aspect of the microbiological aspect, of course. And what you should be doing is you should be going from you're supposed to be advancing to something called a lambda phage, okay? You're supposed to be advancing to something called a lambda phage here, of course, because that's the information that we just got from the Keys of Enoch, is that you have to become a tetrahedron within an octahedron. And what I'm explaining here for you is that is a bacteriophage lambda is what you're actually becoming, which actually is a virus, okay? Notice how in the head here it says it has DNA and RNA in the head. Okay, so what I'm going to explain in this video is you actually have to become something similar to a sperm again, but not necessarily the sperm in the aspect of dealing with lower birth, because you're going to be born of God. And I'm going to explain that for you. So the reason why I said that this is a virus, let's take a look at this particular video here for you.
Not quite alive, not quite dead. Also, they look as if someone made them up. Their head is an icosahedron, a sort of dice with 20 faces and 30 edges. It contains the genetic material of the virus and often sits on a long tail that has leg-like fibers. The virus.
Okay, so that's the reason why I said it's a virus. Now you might be saying, you mean to tell me that we have to become a virus? Well, the reason why that's relevant, of course, is because when you think about a sperm entering into a woman, her actual body treats it like it's something that is foreign. Check this video out.
White blood cells attack the sperm from all directions.
You see how it's attacking there? Okay, so that is participating in lower birth. What we're going to be doing in this particular explanation is we're going to be doing what's mentioned in 1 John chapter 3, line 9, where it says, "Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him." So while your seed is remaining within you, of course, you're actually developing this process of becoming this, right? Because you are sending the seed up, and then you are actually creating this particular process so you can get back out of the path that you've been in. So let's look at this particular illustration here. So let's just say down here at the particular bottom, let's just say down here at the particular bottom down here is what ended up happening when you became a spark and turned into something that went into the womb of a woman and contributed toward lower birth. So y'all probably remember in these particular illustrations, especially this one here, when I was talking about a universal time matrix. So notice how at the very top here, how it looks like a cone. So then let's look at, you see the cone up there, right? So what I'm trying to explain is that you had a situation where you forgot what the beginning is. So let's just say the beginning is this particular Big Bang situation, and then what you end up doing is you actually end up falling into something called lower birth, and then you actually entered in something like a universal time matrix, and then you came all the way down here to the bottom when you think about the book of Genesis, when it says, "Who told you you was naked?" And then down here, you're dealing with a bunch of cellular memories and all that down there at the first level down there. And then what you're supposed to be doing on this process of keeping your seed within you so you can be born, let's see here, this is actually Deuteronomy. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, line 38. It says, "Thou shalt carry" what? "Much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in. For the locust," and locust means sexual desire, "shall consume it," right? It says it shall consume it. And that's what ends up happening here, because you actually entered into a lower birth situation, and because you are not seeking the beginning, then these particular curses, such as like this one here, is actually applying to you because you have lost the information on how to actually be born of God. So what I'm explaining in this particular video, so you won't taste death, is when you are retaining within and realizing how to send it up in the form of tithing, right? Then you are actually developing and becoming what is mentioned here in the keys of Enoch, and you're becoming this carbon atom. You're becoming a carbon atom, right? So you, like for example, you're dealing with 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons in terms of a carbon atom. And remember in the book of Revelations how it talks about this particular number of man, so to speak, and it's like 666 or whatever. So what it's basically explaining, of course, is this is a carbon atom that you are actually developing into once you are sending your seed up and you are doing this upward spiral. You see what I'm saying? See how the one on the right here is going up as opposed to you going down. So that's the process of what you are actually developing when you're moving out of these lower regions here and you're going up, 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 up. You're going up the particular funnel here. You're going all the way up, and then at the top of this funnel is when you're actually reaching here. You're reaching the stars. You know how it talks about reaching the stars? And then the next aspect of this is when you become this particular carbon atom. You become this carbon atom here. And this is the information that we just got in the keys of Enoch, where it says that this is the model for the material grid of all living organisms on this planet. Okay, you become this carbon atom. All right. So then remember earlier how I said like this particular illustration is similar to like becoming something close to like an advanced version of the sperm. So then in this head, what you're doing is you're like traveling. So you are actually, you're literally traveling all the way up. You're traveling all the way up to what? You're traveling up to a bang. You get what I'm saying? Which is similar to what actually happens whenever you do the lower birth situation, and whenever that particular sperm enters into the egg, that's like some type of explosion or something that happens, and then you have a creation process, right? But then it's participating in the lower birth. So what I'm showing you here is that what saying 18 is actually saying for you. It says, the disciple said to Joshua, tell us what our end will be. Joshua says, have you then deciphered the beginning, that you ask about the end? For where the beginning is, there shall be the end. You get what I'm saying? Blessed is the man who what? Who reaches the beginning, right? You have to reach the beginning. See, I just explained that. You know how they always talk about, aim for the stars and all that kind of stuff. So then you have to actually reach the beginning. You get what I'm saying? And then once you reach the beginning, it says, you will not taste death. And what's death? Death is actually starting that process completely over again and contributing to lower birth, if that makes sense. So that's what it's saying in saying, 18 here, when it says that you have to decipher the beginning, and you're really just dealing with, you can call it cells or you can call it particles. Do you get what I'm saying? Now I have this illustration here. This is the standard model of particle physics. Now this is actually in the community area on the channel, so you can freely go over there and save this image so you can look into it a little bit better there for you. But that's really what I'm explaining in this particular video. It's really, really simple, is that, you just have to, make your stand in the beginning. Make your stand in the beginning, and you will know the end, and you will not taste death. And that's the reason why it says you have to decipher the beginning. Do you get what I'm saying? You have to decipher it, right? So for that one who is actually truly seeking out this information, I notice that a lot of people are downplaying the Bible and so forth. And what they're actually downplaying in all actuality is just the way that the masses are receiving it, right? But it's there to enslave the ignorant, but it's also there to enlighten the wise. Like all of this information is actually in there, but you have, in order to extract truth from it, you actually have to bring truth to it. So you can't wear the same goggles that the masses are wearing because they're caught up into the senses. The majority of people are in sense enjoyments, okay? So they have no aspirations or inspirations to actually seek out this information because it's in direct opposition, right? You don't forget what a Hittite is. A Hittite, they have thoughts of oppositions and resistance. You get what I'm saying? So most people are actually Hittites, if you get what I'm saying, meaning like from a mind perspective. So then when you start telling people, hey, well, what we have to do is we have to seek the old path, let me tell you what the actual old path is. It means that we actually have to go to the beginning. And then what's the one thing that people are saying the beginning is? It's a big bang, which is the same thing that happens whenever a so-called sperm enters into an egg. That's into a woman. That's a big bang, and you end up creating something in that process. So what I'm trying to explain is that instead of seeking lower birth, I'm asking you to actually seek to be born of God, so to speak. Right? So you have to allow the seed to remain in you. You have to send it up the spinal column, obviously, right? And there's a process for doing so. And then you actually are trying to become this. You're trying to become this so you can actually reach the levels that you're supposed to reach, right? So then you are actually, you're reaching the stars, you realize what a carbon atom is, right? And then you are actually going all the way to a different type of Big Bang. So you get what I'm saying? So it's very interesting, you know, when you look at it like this, but I've noticed that a lot of people have been trying to overcomplicate this process primarily because they don't want you to keep the seed remaining within you. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it appears that everybody is not a part of this particular process because they don't have that which is within them. Because it says if you don't have it within you, that which you don't have will kill you. And that's possibly what this particular Big Bang is this something that is very destructive to those who don't necessarily have the appropriate workings from within them. So then what they end up doing is just creating a hierarchical structure so they can just obtain, you know, certain aspects of a region, and then we could think of that as this particular universal time matrix where you have various different experiences. Like, for example, down here at the bottom, you have an experience, and then somebody could possibly move up to, like, say, the soul matrix, or somebody could, like, move up to, like, the monad area, or whatever the case may be, or maybe they can have some form of a conscious experience in these other areas, and so forth and so on. But they're actually, in order to reach these higher levels, they are dependent upon the energies of other people. So then you'll have these ones who probably actually have been around for a while, but then their internal aspects of them actually start shutting down. You get what I'm saying? So maybe they don't have the ability to have a proper system to where they can actually go and use the bathroom or something along those lines. Like certain things you'll notice they'll start deteriorating and they'll start shutting down because that's not the process. That's not how it's supposed to be. So you have those who have been trying to experience their particular experience by keeping you out of realizing what the true process is in order to be born of God, so to speak. Okay, so saying 18 is dealing with you. So on a microbiological aspect level here, you have to become this phage lambda, okay, and then on a quantum level, you have to become a carbon atom. Okay, you have to become a carbon atom, all right? And that's really what you're doing. And then, so when you become this process, obviously you are traveling, right? You are traveling. You have the information up here in the head, and you're carrying that information somewhere, right? You're carrying that information somewhere, and then it's the same thing here. You know what I'm saying? You have the information, and you're carrying it, and you're moving through this particular process here, and you're getting all the way to where you're supposed to go. Do you get what I'm saying? Once you've come out of the universal, this little time matrix thing, then you start getting up here into the energy matrix, no space-time. That's when you're actually dealing with this. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're out of all of that kind of stuff that's dealing with all the other nonsense, and then you're actually up here in the energy aspect of stuff. But then you have those actually who are, you have to just be careful and not taste death there, right? So then as you're moving through this process, you're constantly traveling. You're traveling, you're traveling. You're going through each one of these processes here. You get what I'm saying? And then you're finding your way back. You're finding your way back where? To the beginning. You get what I'm saying? And then you will experience something there, and you'll come out something, you know, whatever you're supposed to be, if that makes sense. So that's really what it's saying here in Gospel According to Thomas, saying number 18. All right. So yeah, it's just that simple. So if you have any questions or comments about this particular video, you can leave them underneath the like button in the comment area, and we can have a dialogue about it. But you know, the goal here is the goal is to become a full body of light. You get what I'm saying? And where does that happen at? You know how it says, we have come from the light and we will return to it. You get what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what we're dealing with. All right, I'll see you in the next video.